Okay, here we are back. Video 18 in the series.
Guys,
maybe
what video
19.
is this? Tell us what video this is.
Someone leave a comment. It'll be in the we'll figure it out and we'll make sure it's right. But
here, just to give you guys clarity, Jerry and I have been filming today for you guys this series about 10 hours straight.
Yeah, you don't know that because we chopped them up into videos and released them over time. But yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, you don't know that, but we've been here together 10 hours.
We want you to appreciate how hard we're working for you.
It took us 10 months to film this.
This video is going to be a little bit unique, Pace, in that it's relative to the market we're in right now. Because as of this recording, we're in January 2023. We've been in a depressed market for a minute now.
Right.
I think 2023 is going to be a year of decline, right, in value probably.
No doubt.
I mean, it's going to take a minute for things to rebound or come back around, and you and I are excited about that.
Very excited.
But a lot of people have got stuck in deals. We're going to talk about a deal I'm stuck in. You've shared with me a couple deals you got stuck in, meaning you got into the deal, the market was doing amazing, you had a value where you thought you could exit the deal, market corrects, you can't get that number, now what?
You could be a wholesaler that got a contract and you thought you could sell it because you thought, hey, ARV is really good, but the buyer market dried up because interest rates are going up. Or you could be a fix and flipper that bought a deal and you're in the middle of a renovation, finish that renovation, put it on the market, and you're like, crap, this thing isn't selling and I have a hard money loan. Or you could be somebody that bought something cash or sub 2 or seller finance, and you're like, I was going to retail it, but now I can't.
Yeah. And that's very common right now. In fact, I'm talking to a lot of flippers let's use flippers. I'm talking to a lot of flippers who got into deals with these massive ARVs back when everyone was overpaying.
When you hear somebody say flippers, Ben, and you're thinking about editing, do you think about the dolphin flipper that's like, no, okay. Hey guys, tell Ben you want a dolphin coming across the screen every time Jerry says
flipper. But flippers have gotten into deals, and now if those properties aren't selling, the market corrects, and now what? Now what do you do? I watched a video you did, I don't know when, a couple weeks ago maybe, where you said you don't lose money until you sell.
Right.
And so everyone tends to think, you know what? Oh crap! I got in a bad deal. Market corrected. Now I can't sell it for whatever. I gotta take a haircut. I gotta lose 20, 30, 50 grand on a deal. Cut my losses. Move on. Try to make up for it. And one of the things you taught in that video was, guys, you don't actually have to sell and lose that money.
Yeah.
You can actually stay into it. So talk about that. What do you mean by that? How can you not sell and not lose money?
So what you can do is you can create a different exit, right, where money continually comes to you while you sit and wait, right? And so I've had a couple of deals where we went, actually, great story, really quick. 2 properties next to each other, same seller, bought 2 houses, downtown Mesa, right by the Mesa Temple, okay? Hot spot. Thinking we're going to make 50 grand on each deal. City of Mesa takes a long time on permits. As I'm waiting for permits, interest rates go up and my buyer pool dries up. I went from thinking I'm going to make 50 grand per deal to now losing $50,000.
It's a big swing.
It's a very big swing. It's 100 grand on each property. So I look at those and I go, do I want to write a check for 100 grand to sell these today? Because I'm going to have to lower my expected exit price. Or can I refinance these deals and put them in my portfolio, turn them into Airbnbs, midterm rentals, sober living, choose a different exit strategy, because selling on the retail market is an exit strategy. Flipping is an exit strategy, but so is Airbnb, sober living, midterm rentals, or a traditional rental. And so we just chose a different exit strategy that allows us to wait it out and collect a monthly cash flowing check every single month.
Awesome. And now this does depend on what kind of acquisition capital you got into the deal.
Right.
So you may need to exit out of that financing or get long-term financing if you want to stay in the deal. That is a thing.
Or you could get a lot of people go, oh, I'm in a hard money loan. Okay, well, couldn't you go get a private money lender and bring them on as a partner and say, hey, I'll bring you on 50% of the cash flow, 50% of the profitability. You'll get a check every single month and you'll get your principal back when this deal refinances in 24 months, 36 months, whatever. There's 1,000 different ways you can reskin that.
You know, the hard money lender, if that's the case, because I know a lot of people that are upside down. I have a deal right now where they're like, I'm at 308 on my hard money loan. What's your number? And I'm like, man, I got to be down closer to 200. You're 100 upside down in your hard money loan.
That's nasty.
Yeah, that's a problem. So I said to her, you need to go sit down with your hard money lender. They know this is going on.
Yep.
don't default on that loan or don't not communicate. Communicate with your lender, explain what's going on, come up with a different idea. Go to the hard money lender and say, hey, I've thought this out. I got a different exit strategy. What can we do so that I can still pay you back this loan? But what can we do? And that hard money lender, if they don't want to foreclose, which they don't, probably.
Yeah, lenders don't want to be owners. They want to be lenders.
They'll probably help you work through a different setup.
They'll restructure, right? And they'll say, hey, let's pause payments for a little bit. We don't want to lose, and we want you to manage this property while the value goes back up.
Yeah, or take me out, or I'll be creative on how we can solve this problem. So step number one is don't not communicate with your lenders if you're in a deal upside down.
Yeah, because here's the other thing too. We talked about this in our dating contract. We talked a lot about the value of a relationship. And so if you have a hard money lender, I can tell you they all communicate in your local market. If you burn a hard money lender, you're burning like 100 other relationships.
Yeah.
But if you communicate with that hard money lender and you restructure that debt, a lot of times they'll restructure it, keep you in the deal, and they'll allow you to walk through that fire with a little bit of help on their side.
Yeah.
And they'll always respect you, and they'll always do business with you because you're upfront and honest.
Remember, it's not about the deal, it's about the relationship. Yeah. So if you think about like a private money lender, if you burn that private money lender and you just give them back the property or make them go through foreclosure, default on your loan, it's not just that you soured that one relationship. Think about the value of that. Let's say it's $100,000. Mm-hmm. Well, I can turn deals 2 or 3 times a year with $100,000. So that's 3 deals a year. Over 10 years, that's 30 deals. That's hundreds of thousands of dollars that you burned on that one deal. It's not just the 100,000. It's ongoing for time that you actually lost out on.
Yeah, and it's
huge.
It's also a commitment that you made to yourself to do that deal. And if you walk out on that deal, now you have a lack of self-confidence because you're like, I didn't even commit to myself.
You have no integrity.
You have no integrity.
You have a lack of integrity, and that doesn't. You don't want to show up that way in this business.
So what do you do when you get stuck in it?
Yeah. Okay, so what I have here is I have one of my deals. This was a fix and flip. So my original strategy was buy it, renovate it, sell it. This is in Michigan where I do a lot of deals.
Love it.
And what happened
was a deal from 10 years ago?
No, right now. This is from 6 months ago.
Hold on, Jerry. You're doing real deals?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a deal that I got into.
Bro, I saw on your YouTube the other day, somebody made a comment about you didn't really make this kind of money and you had to go through and it was like...
I was like, are you kidding me? No, what happened was I said, hey, just accepted a contract on New Year's Eve for $195 on a house I bought for $20.
Yeah.
And I had on YouTube and on Instagram, I had people say, dude, you're lying. You didn't buy that house for 20 grand. And I'm like, really? You can see it right in the public. Come on, dude.
Guys, this is why we give you addresses. If you're learning from people that are not willing to give you addresses and pull up, what is this that we're looking at?
I gave the Zillow link to the click on it. Anyway.
You did a good job.
So what I do with haters,
very positive.
I don't do this all the time because you can't, but I found that when I get haters, and if it's consistent, I'll call them out, I'll screenshot it, and I'll call out how dumb it is. And what I think is haters are less likely to say what they say if they're worried that you're going to call them out publicly on it.
Interesting.
I don't know if that's true or not, but
so
anyway.
How did you get into this deal? How did you find this?
So I bought this deal on market. So distressed property, agent, lowball offer, bought it cash, right?
Okay, so an agent had this listed on the market in Michigan.
I double dipped with the agent, so they got both sides.
That double dip strategy works?
Oh my gosh, it's gold. Yeah.
Okay, so you tell the agent, hey, represent me on the buy side.
On the buy.
You'll get paid from the seller and from me, and you'll get paid both. Actually, the seller
pays all of it, but it represents both sides.
Right, so seller pays both, which is great. You come to the table unrepresented, even though you're licensed in Michigan. You let him make the money, so he's more enticed to sell you the deal.
Exactly.
He goes to bat for you. He gets the deal at a lowball cash offer. You buy the deal. The intention was to flip it.
Yep. Okay. So we did a renovation on it. Okay. I don't remember what we spent on it, but time to sell it now. Okay. So I come on the market a couple months ago, right when the slowdown happens.
Oh, yeah.
And now I can't sell it for my ARV. And I'm doing price drops. And here we are.
Which shows desperation.
Yeah. And
where did you start? What was your price you started?
I think I started at $199.
Okay, $199.
Yeah. I might have been a little higher. I can't remember.
In Michigan, is that like a 50,000 square foot house in Michigan?
1,500, I think.
Okay, good.
Yeah. It's Clinton Township. And so I'm getting down and I'm like, man, market's corrected on me. Who can relate? Like there's probably guys that are going to say, dude, I got deals like that right now.
Wholesalers, fix and flippers, a lot of people.
If you weren't active in real estate, you probably didn't have this happen. So whenever someone says, I never got caught with a deal, I'm like, you probably weren't doing deals then, because how could you not?
There's no way.
Yeah. So hopefully it's just not that bad. Now I buy really good. So when I take a haircut like this, it's usually not that bad. But I didn't want to lose money on the deal, and I don't need to. So on this particular deal, it's just my own cash.
Right.
So I got no financing. So I'll self-fund some of my deals because I got to put cash to work somewhere. Right. So I'll self-fund deals. This is one of those. So it was kind of easy to structure. And so what happened was we got some offers, and they didn't work. I said no. There was some interest. There were showings because they were too low. And so I go to my agent, that's my listing agent in Michigan.
Is it the same agent that sold you the deal, or
different agent? Yeah, okay, it's great. My brother. He lists all my properties for me.
Got it.
Little brother. And I go to him and I say, Kevin.
How many brothers do you
There's have? A lot. I have 6 brothers and a sister.
Wow.
Way less than I have my own kids.
6 brothers.
Yeah, 6 Nortons.
6 Nortons. 7.
Well, 7 total. 6 boys and a girl.
Wow.
So yeah. So I have 5 brothers, I guess. 6 with me and a girl.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Tell me you're Mormon without telling me you're Mormon. I have 6.
I have 10 kids.
I have 10 kids. Okay.
So we get down to this, and I'm like, well, I don't need the cash. I can keep the cash in the deal.
Yeah.
If I could create some income, that'd be amazing. I don't want to take a haircut on this thing. So what else can I do? So in Michigan, you call them executory contracts, which is like the blanket name for it. In Michigan, they're land contract.
Yeah.
So we have a whole video on what those are. What are all the different names? Hey, girls.
Hi, girls. Oh my gosh.
Is that a what do you call those?
Ben, show the girls with one of them B cams and just say hi to the girls just real quick. Hi, little girls. Are you here watching Jerry just put it down?
Yeah, she brought all.
Monday's like, yes, keep telling. She's clapping.
Dada.
Like, tell me about these executory contracts, Jerry. Okay, so you decide at what point did you decide that an executory contract was the right way to go, a land contract?
Well, they're very common in Michigan. Mm-hmm. I think they are. I've done a ton of them there.
They're very common. Yeah.
They're very common. They're easy to structure. Super easy to structure.
What's funny is like when I do a deal up there, and you're talking to a seller and you go, hey, would you sell or finance this to me? The sellers often will go, what do you mean, like a land contract?
Yeah. like they know what they are.
I'm like, how is it that everybody in Michigan knows what a land contract is? It's awesome.
Well, this was funny because my agent, who's my brother, he wasn't familiar with how they work. And I said to him, go back to some of the buyers, the showings, call those agents and ask them if their buyer's open to a land contract. Mm. And so one of them comes forward and says, tell us about that. My buyer liked the house. Well, what is that? I don't know what that is, but walk me through it. So I end up explaining to both of them, okay, here's how we do this. Here's what it is.
It really, before you go on, this really like gets my butt chapped a little bit, that you've got multiple agents that could all
aren't familiar with it.
They could solve so many problems, and it's just one little nugget of information on Jerry Norton's YouTube channel or my YouTube channel that would solve the problem for you. And here you go. You're going to go back to these agents, and you are educating a licensed agent on this. So guys,
and look how easy this is. So we have up here on the screen. This is the contract we signed. Okay. We're
178.
178.
You got to swipe it on your phone.
Oh yeah, 178. And what I want to show here is additional documents attached. And look at these options: land contract sale addendum with the checkbox.
Zoom in on
here.
It's right here.
Look at these other ones. Look at G.
Oh, hold on a second. You're telling me. How do we do this on the writing? What the heck?
Will not let you because we zoomed in.
Maybe.
Shouldn't matter, right?
I don't think so. Why wouldn't it do that? That's stupid.
Let me zoom it back out and see if it gives you your key. Whoops.
That's weird. Oh, okay, here we go.
Oh, you're in my notes. Because I pulled it up out of my notes. But it's a PDF.
Yeah, it doesn't matter either.
Hold on.
Way.
Yeah, it shouldn't matter, right?
No. I don't think it should matter. Maybe we don't need to write on it. But you should definitely zoom in on it for sure.
Okay, so let's zoom in on it. Maybe point to it.
So guys, right here, Jerry's referencing land contract sale addendum. And what is that?
Well, look at that. Pace, this is the state-approved contracts from, look at, RE/MAX.
But Jerry, Subject to is illegal, Jerry. Subject to is illegal, and agents and brokers should never do a subject to deal.
It's right here as one of your options on a state-approved agent contract in Michigan.
This is why when an agent tells me that sub 2, seller finance, executory contracts, any of these things are illegal, I go, you just must have gotten your license yesterday.
Yeah, like, where have you been? So then the rest of this is just like normal contract, right? Initials and everything. Well, let's go to, is this it? Right here. Land contract addendum. Land contract sale addendum.
But you created this document.
I didn't create anything. This is part of the standard paperwork with an agent.
No way.
Yeah. And look here's the blanks. So 10,000 down.
Guys.
A 2-year balloon. So I put this guy on a 2-year balloon.
Ooh, that's good for you.
So it's a 30-year mortgage.
Why was he willing to do a 2-year balloon? What did he think? Does he think the interest rates are going to come down? He feels like I can refinance you out. Okay.
Yeah, because we're at 7%. So if you look here, it says 2 years.
This is so good for you.
With a 7% per annum. So it's a 7% loan, yeah.
Okay, so man, we could go so deep on this. You know what I love about a 7% loan that you just created? So Jerry created a note. Are you really only receiving 7% interest?
No, because I'm into the deal for less than his loan.
No. It's even better than that. So a lot of people don't think about this. The majority of the payment that happens in the first 10 years of an amortized
it's all interest.
It's all interest.
Yeah.
So when you actually calculate your return on your cash on cash return, it's closer to like 35% interest on your money.
Yeah.
So that 7%, over the life of the loan, it becomes 7% because at the end of the loan, you're basically getting no interest. But all the interest is front loaded on an amortized loan. So you're really...
That's a really good point.
Nobody talks about this. And I was talking about this to an agent that's been in the business for 20 years. He goes, wow, the fact that you just lit up my brain about that. Because people go, well, why would a seller finance to you at 4%? I'm like, because the seller's receiving a lot more than 4%.
Yeah.
And they go, no, it says 4% on the paper. I go, yeah, but when you calculate what they're really receiving in those first like your
2 years, it's all interest.
I bet you're seller financing 178.
Here's the payment.
Okay. So out of that $1,000 principal and interest, out of that $1,000, I would guarantee that 850 of that is interest.
I'll bet you that.
So in 12 months, you'll receive roughly $10,000 or so in interest on year one. 10,000 in year two. So you'll make 20 grand in interest in 2 years on a $168,000 note. You're essentially your cash on cash return is like 12, 13%.
Yeah, way higher than just the 7. Now,
way higher.
Let's see how well people are paying attention. I found out that this is what he can afford on his payment. So how did I determine my interest rate?
You reverse engineer.
I just reverse engineered. That's how I got to the 7.
Great question. So when somebody asks, how do I make a determination of what to sell or finance for, or how to sell or market to my buyer? First thing I always say is, talk to your buyer and ask them what can they afford.
What can they afford?
Think about it. If I walk into a car dealership, the first thing they say is, Jerry, what can you afford? Now, Jerry can afford a lot. This guy has a Sprinter van, all sorts of cars, okay? But like I just bought an Escalade for Laura, and they go, what can you afford? And I was like, I love this. I love that we're not talking about price. I love that we're not talking about interest rate. I love that we're not talking about length of term. We're literally only talking about what can I afford? And he pulls out this little 4-square thing that they do, smart.
Yeah.
And he circles, here's your payment. I go, this is great. And I record the whole thing on my phone because I'm like, I want you guys to see that this is how negotiations happen. That's what you did.
Yeah. So there's a couple variables, right? If I find out he can pay 1,000, I could play with my years. So the amortization, you do 40-year loans to stretch out the payment. You could play with the interest rate,
like you could
or the
have,
price.
Technically, you sold yours for $178, $10,000 down, 7% interest with a 2-year balloon. You probably could have pushed it to $199, 7% interest with a 50-year mortgage with a 2-year balloon.
And made the price higher? Oh, because I made the price higher.
You could have made the price higher and kept the term longer.
So
But the problem with that is the 2-year balloon.
That's why.
He won't be able to refinance.
No, and I didn't want to be in it that long. So what I could have done is I could have said, hey, let's make this 5 or 7 or 10.
Yeah.
And then bump that price up.
But I love this whole I love that everything about this, you gave him the appropriate price. You got a really good interest rate that incentivizes him to refinance you out. You gave him 2-year balloon. and the price that in 2 years he should be able to refinance you out no problem.
And I'm not carrying a rental property.
Right.
Because I could have just kept it, thrown a renter in there.
So what if his toilet breaks? Who's he calling?
It's his house.
Wow.
It's not my house, it's his house.
What a great deal.
Yeah. And I think the second thing, the reason why we pulled this up here is because the number one question in our comments is paperwork. How do you paperwork? Paperwork. And while there's certainly paperwork, subject twos can be a little bit more complicating, right? Because there's an underlying loan. But I hope you see how easy this was.
Yeah.
Like this was so easy.
Yeah.
It was a checkbox on the original normal purchase and sale agreement. And then this addendum.
Where does the agent get this paperwork, by the way? So Jerry had an agent represent this transaction. The agent downloaded this from their broker or their state's website. This was a state.
It's in their document center, right in there. They all have it.
So they go in there, they pull it out, they put it into DocuSign, they fill in the blanks, and they send it off to the party.
They put our terms in here, and we initialed it, and there we go. Now, title will actually create the land contract at closing.
Yeah.
So I'm not paying legal fees.
This is the ingredients, right? So I always tell people this is the contract, which is the ingredients. You send that to title, and title puts the transaction together, and they cook it up. This is a great deal.
What's great about it is I'm not losing money now. I'm making money now. I'm letting my money sit. So I gotta be okay to let my money sit. So where this becomes a problem is if a flipper's got short-term capital in a deal and they need to somehow exit that and they're upside down.
What I would do is I would recapitalize. So what I would do, again, going back to, I think when I go to Puerto Rico in a month or so, I think we should do a whole series on raising capital. And
definitely.
I think we could do 5.
Like 20 videos or how many?
A lot. I think raising private capital and what you can do with raising private capital, even like in the multifamily thing, like what I'm doing with Reg Ds, Reg CFs, Reg A pluses, all these things that people don't even talk about. I think we could talk about a whole bunch of amazing things in the multifamily space, but also like, how do I raise capital and find like somebody that's going to give me the cash to recapitalize? If I get into a deal and it's 2022, interest rates go up, market goes down, just like it did here. If this wasn't your own cash, how would you have gotten out of that deal if it was a hard money loan?
Yeah.
I already know what you would have done. You would have gone to a private money lender and said, hey, get me out of this deal, partner with me on this.
Stay in the deal longer.
Stay in the deal for 24 months.
Yep.
I'm going to sell this on a land contract, and you and I will both make money on the deal, and we'll both make cash flow.
Yeah. And not take a haircut. So think about it. Yeah. If I were to, I don't know where I would need to be at, but let's just say I'm at 150 to sell it, and I would lose, $25,000.
Yeah.
Or let's say that in this deal, I got hard money and I'm upside down, and now I either got to sell it and write a check to the hard money, or I got a default on my loan.
Yeah.
What you're saying is recapitalize with private money, restructure your deal, pay off that hard money, stay in the deal for another 2 years, and not lose money, actually make money.
Yeah, make money. And not only just make money, but an agent made money, another agent made money, the seller got something that the seller was probably, I'm sorry, not the seller, but the buyer that you sold this to, the buyer was probably pretty deflated when he's like, I really like the house, but interest rates and my down payment and all these other things. Because if he's going to go buy this with a conventional loan, he might have been at 7 to 8%.
Yeah.
He might have also been at 20% down, and you would have wanted to sell it for $199.
And he would have a bunch more fees, all these closing fees and appraisal fees and all of that, and didn't have any of that.
Wow.
So, awesome. Guys, we wanted to give some real world examples here, but if you guys really want to keep learning creative finance, we're going to keep making videos. This has been great. Go to paceandjerry.com, sign up for a free strategy session. We're going to learn all about how you can become part of Pace's creative finance mastermind and really learn these strategies and implement them at a whole new level. This is using creative on an exit in a market condition, but this is real stuff. Like this is happening, and you got to learn how to put deals together.
This is happening right now.
Yeah.
I love this.
And
here's the date, 12/22/22.
Yeah, it just happened. Yeah.
Just happened. This was less than a week ago. Bro.
This is cool.
You're flipping genius.
Thank you, man.
Wow.
Thank you, Pace. All right, guys, we're going to be moving on to, video 19 in the series. Be sure to leave a comment. Tell us if these videos are helpful, what you like about them, any questions you have. We are going to eventually try to answer a lot of these questions. Maybe we'll group them, but we're going to try to do that because we know how important this is for you to get this information. So thank you, guys. We'll see you on the next video.
Later.